Hi, I'm Kevin Mackey, and I'm bringing you the weather for today. I'm showing you the pressure areas. There's a high pressure area right here in Montana and Idaho, which makes it cold temperatures there. And there's one here in Colorado, and one here in Kansas. And then there's one here in the southeastern part of Canada. And the low pressure areas here towards the Midwest, one here at the lower part of California, and that's all the pressure areas in the United States. Alright, these are the fronts. There is an occluded front right here, which that means when two cold fronts come in and push a warm front up. And then there's a stationary front right here when the warm and cold fronts can't move each other. There is a cold front right here and a warm front right here. I'm showing you the maximum and minimum temperatures for June 1st, 2012. So in the minimum temperature, there is some blue right up here, which would be in the 30 to 40 degrees range. And right here, there's some blue. That would be in the 50 degrees. And in the northwestern and middle parts of the U.S. and some towards the southeastern, there would be temperatures in the 60s. And there is temperatures down here in the southern parts of the U.S. that would be in the 70s, and there's little spots in Florida and Texas that would be in the 80s. And there is, for the maximum temperatures, there is some green up here, which would be the 70s, and some dark green right here, which would be the 60s, and there's some more light green, 70s, and then there's yellow. There's a yellow part, which would be in the 80s, and then there's orange in the middle parts and the bottom of Florida, which would be in the 90, 95, and then there is some light red right here, right here, right here, which would be in the 100 degrees, and then towards right here there's a little spot of dark red, which would be over 100 degrees. Okay, I'm showing the precipitation in inches for this day. So right here there will be precipitation around 0.25, 0.1, and 0.01 inches. And then where the yellow is, right here, there's some right there, that would be around 0.75 to 0.5 inches. So like a half or 3/4 of an inch of rain. And then you can see there's a little spot of orange there and there that would get closer to 2 and 1.5 inches. And then there's some dark green in here and down here that would get not that much rain, but still a little bit. And then there's light green in here, which would get not a ton, but like 1/4 of an inch of rain. So not a ton of rain for today, except for southern Florida and the close to the Gulf of Mexico and Louisiana. So, okay, so these are the air masses. We have continental tropical, maritime tropical, and 2 maritime polars. Okay, so the continental tropical moves in from here into Texas. And then the maritime polar comes in to Florida, and this maritime polar comes in here making cooler temperatures, and this one into here making cooler temperatures. And these ones down here have, because it's tropical, make it warmer temperatures down here in the southern parts of the U.S. and colder temperatures up here in the northern part of the U.S. Okay, I'm showing the heat transfers, which are convection, conduction, and radiation. So conduction, which is right here, comes up and heats the first few layers of the atmosphere. That's how it shows from the heat from the ground coming up into the atmosphere and heating these parts. And convection is the air near the ground is heated, making the air less dense, and then rises up into the atmosphere. And radiation is when the infrared rays heats the surface for the first few layers of the earth. So you can see that the air pushes up in convection and the air comes up into the atmosphere in conduction, and the radiation is heating the earth. So we are showing the sea breeze, which is, there is high pressure right here moving in from the water, making it low, and then pushing up to high pressure, which is cold temperatures, and then pushing out to low pressure, which is high temperatures, and it just goes in a big cycle. So that's the sea breeze. Okay, so this is the clouds. So right here, as you can see, there's little green spots, which means rain. So these would be stratus clouds, and there's stratus clouds here because there's green, and green here, so more stratus clouds. And right here, because there doesn't look like any rain, there would be cumulus clouds. They are like puffy clouds, which are like means fair weather. And these rain, rain, and rain. So I'm showing you the winds for today. Because of the Coriolis effect, the winds look like they're moving in these directions, up and to the east and down and to the east. And towards the equator, they move to the west. And because of the Coriolis effect, they look like they're moving in those directions, but they actually aren't because of the Earth's rotation. Thank you for watching the weather for today, presented by Kevin Mackey.